Welcome to Bible Briefings from the Bible News and Worship Network for June 19, 2025. Today, we are bringing you three of today's most urgent U.S. and global headlines, each examined through the lens of God's unchanging Word. From stolen eggs to political unrest and rising tensions in the Middle East, we'll break down the headlines and offer a Christian perspective rooted in Scripture. Let's get started. Story 1. The Great Egg Heist. A jaw-dropping theft shocked the food industry yesterday. Over 280,000 eggs, worth more than $100,000, vanished in a clever transportation scam. Cal-Maine, the nation's largest egg producer, was the target. This comes amid federal investigations into alleged price gouging by the same company. This isn't just a story about missing eggs. It's about distrust in major corporations, economic pressures, and how desperation can lead to dishonesty. When profits soar and people struggle to afford basics, frustration boils over. The Bible clearly states in Exodus 20:15, "You shall not steal." No matter how justifiable the cause may seem, theft breaks God's law. But this is also a call for business leaders. Micah 6:8 reminds us to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. We need honesty in the marketplace and compassion for people experiencing poverty. As believers, we must advocate for fair practices while living above reproach ourselves. Let's be salt and light in a world that's dimmed by greed. Story 2. U.S. Democrats seek new leadership. A new Reuters Ipsos poll reveals growing discontent within the Democratic Party. Many voters are expressing a desire for fresh leadership ahead of the 2026 midterms. The criticism? Leaders are out of touch and ineffective on significant issues. This reflects generational and cultural tension. Many Americans feel unheard. There is a cry for integrity, transparency, and vision, values sorely lacking in today's political landscape. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety." A Christian worldview values leadership that is wise, humble, and accountable. We are instructed in 1 Timothy 2:1-2 to pray for all in authority. But let's go further. Christians should engage in the process, running for office, voting with wisdom, and speaking truth in love. Our hope isn't in parties, but in God's purpose being lived out in us. Story 3. U.S. evacuates diplomats amid Middle East escalation. As tensions explode between Iran and Israel, the U.S. has begun evacuating diplomatic staff from its embassy. Iran has issued dire warnings while missiles continue to strike civilian targets, including hospitals. Global leaders are calling for de-escalation. We're watching another potential war unfold, and with it, the suffering of countless innocents. There is fear, confusion, and the threat of wider military involvement, including from the United States. Matthew 5:9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." And Psalm 122:6 urges us, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem." We must be a people of prayer and peace. War is not to be glorified, it is to be mourned. As followers of Christ, we stand for life, reconciliation, and truth. Let's intercede boldly for protection over civilians, for wisdom in leadership, and for a miraculous peace that only God can bring. These stories may seem distant or overwhelming, but God calls us to watch, pray, and act. Stay rooted in Scripture. Be a voice of peace. Live with integrity, at home, in business, and at the ballot box. If today's headlines leave you uneasy, let them drive you to the altar, not to fear. Let's not just be informed, we must be transformed. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Bible News and Worship Network for weekly updates with spiritual insight.